So I'm just leaving school, and it's a Wednesday. I just had 3 hours of class, and I'm walking this way because I'm going to go somewhere with the rest of my day. So one thing about my school is it's just far enough away from downtown that walking to downtown will take like 10 minutes. But it's not so far away that I want to sit and wait for a bus, because that waiting would take up half that time. So I'm walking downtown, but I'm walking through Barrio Escalante, which is always interesting. And I don't have anything to do for another 6.5 hours, so not in a rush. So there's my favorite, Parque Morazan. And I'm just walking to the bus station to Heredia, where we've been before, so I don't really need to show this part. And I'm walking this way because I'm going to stop and get myself a drink. So I just got off that bus in Heredia. I'm just going to turn there, it's good. And I'm continuing up the road, and if you've seen the San Rafael video, what's going to happen today is probably pretty obvious. So here is where we split off, and last time we went to the right to San Rafael, 3 kilometers. This time we're going to the left to Barva, 3 kilometers. And that's an equal distance. The roads are not equal, as I understand it. Barva is actually less of a steep incline. San Rafael was quite draining. But I guess we will find out. We'll also find out what's actually in Barva. And already 2 kilometers, so not that far at all. And right now, incidentally, 1:35 in the afternoon. Took me about 90 minutes to get here from school. And like I said, I still have a couple of hours, so I'm just walking down the street. And this is a scene we've seen before in like San Pablo and Santo Domingo, and even in Tibas on the road to Heredia. Looks pretty similar. So here is the end of the grid, and we're going to turn right and go up this road, which eventually goes to 2 separate volcanoes, and I'm not going to go into any volcanoes today as far as I know. If I end up at or in a volcano at the end of this trip, something went wrong. There's a Subway there, I mean a Subway restaurant, which I actually haven't eaten in Costa Rica. And as you can see, it is actually no climb compared to when I went to San Rafael, and it's just a nice wide road. It is congested, of course, but we have this nice yellow path, so I'm just walking along, seeing what I'm going to see. So there's kind of a little river and bridge here, and a lot of times these are cantonal boundaries. I'm not sure if it is in this case. On a different day, it looks like I could actually get down there, but that's not my goal today. So this actually says I'm in San Rafael, which I guess maybe it's like the border just continues over here, but I'm on the road to Barva, if anything makes sense. So this is interesting. I don't know the story. Don't know how old that building is, or whether it's just meant to look old, or a little bit of both. But that's some interesting architecture. But of course, since this is Costa Rica, turn around and you see this, which is not bad. I'm not insulting it. Just next to like an ancient castle just sitting in the road. It's kind of weird. You turn the corner and you see Papa John's. Luego eso. As you can see, the sidewalk has disappeared, so this is a less attractive walk. But probably the sidewalk will reappear, and probably I'm close to where I want to be, which will be much more scenic, is the idea. And of course, we're close to the Alajuela airport here, so you could see that airplane coming in. Pops, Ready Pizza, McDonald's, Pizza Hut. So we're getting close to something. How could I forget Taco Bell? Looks like it's still in construction though. Finally bringing civilization to Barva. So we're crossing another quebrada. This one's Quebrada Seca. I'll find out if that's true. And this might be another cantonal boundary. Or might be a district boundary. Probably one of the two. Wow, I'm impressed. One thing about Costa Rica, and this is true of the United States and a lot of other countries, is that the jurisdictions mean different things in different places. Like when I was in Chacachi and Orosi, both of those were in Paraíso Canton, and they're just districts. And here in Heredia, you have a lot of like cantones that are much physically smaller than districts other places, but that's certainly the case in the United States. Like, you know, you have states that are smaller than counties. You have counties that are smaller than cities, etc. And it's called Quebrada Seca, but somewhere down there, I believe I can hear some rushing water. Yeah, there is some water, so that is not actually dry right now. There's a complex of bilingual education, 6.5 kilometers. Well, I'm not going to go that far. I can do bilingual education right here. And here we have a statue. Indeed, this is that was the border, and now we are in the canton de Barva in the province of Heredia. The balloon-only store. So, as you can see, Barva has some rich shopping experiences if you want only balloons. Now this is Barva, so I'm going to go over to that park and sit down for a minute. So after all that walking, it's good to be able to sit down. So as is often but not always the case, we have the municipality, the city hall, right across from the church and both right next to the town square, such as it is. And then around here, I don't know how new this is or it's been reconstructed. You can also see a lot of these buildings are with an older architecture style and it's a lot more colorful. So that's interesting. And then also over here, there has to be something about these masks, and I'll show them in a second, but this seems to be like a theme here. And of course it's a little grotesque, but it's certainly interesting that we have all these masks. We have a place to lock bicycles too, which is important, but I also want to show we have a little sculpture path with different types of sculpture, mostly which seem to be abstract, you know, big rocky curves. And I don't know the specific themes or history or school of poetry. This is called Nomada, the nomad sculpture. And I don't know specifically what that means, but the art speaks for itself. This is called Sin Fronteras. It's from a sculptor from Taiwan. It says that, and I also saw, you know, the name is written with Wade Giles. And for all I know, it's a sculptor from Tainan, which Tainan had a lot of sculpture. This is called Rebirth, and I'm assuming that break is not part of the sculpture, it's an accident, but then it's, what is sculpture? Do accidents become part of the sculpture? The ecstasy of music, and so that's more representational, so there are a variety of styles and stuff. Obviously not an expert, I'm just a guy with a camera. But it's a nice little walk just in this central square. And from what I've seen, you know, Heredia in general is affluent, and I think this place is even more affluent because having a sculpture garden is not something you see in every town. It feels a little bit more affluent than San Rafael in that direction where we went a couple of weeks ago. And is this a sculpture or is this just rocks? I guess we'll find out. It's not only sculpture, but it is representational sculpture of a face. Don't know the history of the story though. I also found it interesting. April of 2024, so just a couple weeks after I left, they reconstructed this park. And the motto is constructing a canton that we deserve. That we deserve to have. Paintings on the letters, and some of this is pretty obvious. We have indigenous people and wildlife, so I think this is like pre-colonial times. I think this is meant to represent, you know, early independence, the later history into basketball wasn't until the 20th century, jazz bands. But then, of course, we have this, and this, you know, returns to the mask and the horror theme, and I don't know what's going on there. So you can reconstruct your own story about what this Barva painting means. You can also see over there, there's a bus parked there, and there's people waiting for the bus here. And so it's not quite there, but we almost have like a transit center, which is the one piece of technology Costa Rica lacks, is transit centers. And I'm going to continue this way just for a short while, see if there's something else to see over in this direction. Another river Quebrado. Oh, and this is actually, oh no, that's just a ditch outflow, not a natural waterfall. Water does look pretty clean though. I just, as always, I wish there was some access to go down and rest by the river. And I think that's a district boundary, so I think I'm going into another district of Barva here. And as always, we will find out. This apparently is the district of San Pablo, still in Barva. And there's supposed to be a plaza here, but otherwise it just looks like a nice little suburban neighborhood. So this is more like a sports plaza or sports field. Still, really nice sports field. I might as well take a walk around this blue track if I can access it. Well, I'm just having a nice little walk around here. I do want to get back to Heredia Central because, well, it's not for 90 minutes, but I am taking the train back, so I do want to get back there before 4 o'clock. And then, I have to walk back to the center of Barva, take a bus, then go wait in line for a train. So can't dilly-dally forever, but I'm having a nice walk. Another thing to note, the weather today is a little bit hot and humid compared to what I'm used to, more than it would be in Montana, but it is tolerable and there's a nice breeze and some shade. So I'm doing okay today. Down in that direction you can see the Church of Barva, so you can see how far we walked from. If you look really down in that direction, you can see the line of hills, so you can see that's where San Jose is itself. So just one more bend and then I'm going to start heading back. And I didn't test if this water is potable, but I did clean up and cool down. There's a drinking fountain here. A lot of that is pandemic era, or started with the pandemic, but it's still in use and it does make things a little bit more comfortable. And now I'm, had a little walk around that track, and now I'm going to walk back to Barva. Common in Costa Rica, in small towns, the middle of the city, in suburbs, a little medical complex, kind of similar to what we have in the U.S. And here we have dentist, orthodontist, dentist, psychological, and I am translating that as psychopedagogical education. I know what those words mean. I'm trying to parse what they mean together. A little bit surprised to see that. Costa Rica is a very open country in some ways, not all is in other ways, and also this is kind of a funny part. In the U.S. you see something like that, a medical complex, and it's usually like in some leafy office park. Here it's right across from a sale on plastic I actually don't know what tablilla means. It's kind of a mix here is the point. It's kind of a mix. I'm walking back to Barva Central on a slightly different road than I came in on. So I'm just going to cross over this bridge here and then I'll be right back in Barva. Here's the same creek again. So Barva I chose today because I had class in the morning and I was going to be tired, and I have teaching class in the evening. So I had basically a 7-hour gap, and it's a place I could see. One thing for me is that even though all these little suburbs that are, included in San Jose, like I don't leave the city to get here, they all feel different. And this felt different than San Rafael. So I'm always going to see something a little bit new in details and sometimes just in the feel of what it feels like to be here, which hopefully comes across in the video. So I'm back in the Barva town square. And I'm waiting for this bus, which just goes down to Heredia, which it's 2 kilometers, 20-minute walk, probably, hopefully less than that for the bus ride. And the price for the tariff for the bus is 230 colones, or about 45 cents. So local transit like that can be really cheap here, and I don't have to wait too long. So I'm back at the train station in Heredia, and it's I believe 25 minutes until the train leaves, 20 minutes until it boards, but I don't have time to go anywhere else, so I'm just going to get on the train. And I've shown this ride before, and I have the camera out, so I'm not going to show any of that actual footage. Just going to wait for the train. Apparently, there was a crash somewhere between here and the next station, and as far as I can tell, people are walking to the next station, which I think is maybe a little bit less than a kilometer, and waiting there. If that doesn't work, then I can just get on a bus, but I want to try to at least take the train, but it is going to be a little bit of delay, but I still have 3 hours to get home. And apparently we're all just walking a kilometer on the train tracks. Normally wouldn't do this But I guess that's what we're doing today. There we go. This is not exactly where I want to be right now. Another thing to consider is only the first train and then one far after goes to UCR. Maybe just the first one. So it could be that I will not, that train's already left, and the next train is just going to go to San Jose Central. In which case I'll have to walk, but hey, it's been a long time, but man, I hope it goes a little bit easier. So apparently they changed their mind, so hopefully I can get to Miraflores before that train goes there and then comes back. So this is Miraflores. So there, I can actually mira some flores. And maybe I should have waited because I saw a train go by and then go back. Then I heard another one beeping, so hopefully it'll be along soon. Don't know what I'm going to do. Getting kind of tired, and yeah, getting kind of tired. Here's Miraflores, so yeah, I'm just going to wait here. I might wait here no matter what happens. I'm tired. I don't want to run around anymore. So I'm looking down the train tracks towards San Jose. If I really zoom in, that train crossing sign is blinking, but there's no train coming. And there are people waiting at the stop here, and if there wasn't, I would go somewhere else, but that means that something's going to happen. So this was, I mean, it really wasn't bad planning on my part, maybe a bad reaction. Maybe I should have just taken a bus, but hindsight is 2020. It is getting close to 5. Which means I've been out for a while and I'm getting hungry and tired, but still don't have anywhere to be for 2 hours, so I'm good. I hope. So there's my train going to Heredia, and then I guess 10-15 minutes before it'll return back here, maybe a little bit less if I'm lucky, and then just take it that way, so now I at least know what's happening. I just got off that train and I was considering staying and waiting for the next train. I don't know how long I'd have to wait, and it's like easier to walk than to wait. And even though I'm pretty comfortable here, sometimes I still get the feeling that something like having to delay, having to walk a little while, not knowing exactly where I am is like the cornerstone of disaster. But now, you know, it's just a quick walk home. I'm going to eat some noodles. Glad you liked the trip. There will be more.